guys, I know it's been like forever since I've been on here. I'm going to be uploading like a whole bunch of videos at one time. Like right now it's September the 28th. I don't think I'm going to upload the videos until probably sometime in October, when it's closer for me to start listing them in my shop. So some of the soaps I did do videos for. I think I did one for Black Pearl, so I don't need to show that again. But I did one for Lucid, but I just wanted to see how they darkened up since I made them. And that's because I had I added some fragrance oils to them, to the absinthe that have like vanilla content. So that darkened those up. And I think I did a video for Arabian Spice as well. And I wanted to see how these have darkened up. So that lighter line really stands out now. And I'm not sure if I said before that I put orange peel powder in the center, just a little bit. So it shouldn't exfoliate or scratch or anything. But I thought it would add to the scent since it was already a little bit of orange in the fragrance. And I did a new batch of snow cakes. I did a larger batch to make sure it got through at least up to Christmas, through Christmas. So I did less glitter this time, but more piping, larger little stars and stuff on them. And I did a batch of Karma, and still not my favorite, but I did make a trip out to Lush and run around and like smelled everything, and I picked up a Karma bubble bar, and I was like, hey, you know, it doesn't smell all that bad. I don't know, I got more citrus out of the bubble bar than I'm personally getting out of the soap form. But yeah, it wasn't all that bad. So I made some of this, and that's those. And I just did yesterday a batch of soap, and this is called Peppermint bark. So it's mint and chocolate for the most part, and this really was a doozy. I know I say like a lot of my batches, you know, give me problems, but this one really gave me problems. It took me forever to do it. One, because, you know, embeds aren't my favorite, and I was going to do like some embeds and stuff for the top portion to represent the candy cane. And I did two batches. I did a batch of chocolate, and I did a batch of peppermint. I mean candy cane. And got impatient, took them out of the mold too soon, and they never set up. So I just threw it away. I could have rebatched it, but I was just so disgusted with myself, I just threw them away. And then I decided to try some melt and pour embeds, which were these here. But then it was like, I'm not sure if this is going to get too hot and then maybe melt the embeds, and then I just wound up with soup in the middle, so I decided against that. What I did do was I had some little shavings left over from Stay Puft, so I used those to make the little chocolate chips, and they're scented lightly. It doesn't smell like chocolate, but hey, you know, it still blends in with the overall fragrance. And then I found some bars of soap that I had made a while ago, scented in watermelon. And they were red and white and green. So I just cut the red and white portion off and used that and some shavings to do the inside. And it doesn't smell like watermelon. That's why I never sold it, because the scent faded. So those bars were just sitting back there waiting to be used for something. I did shavings inside because it's been my experience from what I've seen. I don't know if this is the actual like explanation as to why it happens, but it's just my little theory that when you have soap that's cured for that's been cured for so long, and you try to use it for embeds in a new batch, I think what happens is that the old soap has already lost all of its moisture, and the new soap still has to, you know, lose all the water and stuff. And what happens is, when you go to cut it, it looks fine, but then over time as it cures, you see like gaps between the embed in the soap itself, where it's kind of like pulled away, and I think it's because the new batch is losing water, and the old batch already already lost its water, so it's not shrinking anymore, while the soap around it is shrinking. So what I did was shavings inside instead, just in case. I don't want to take any chances. And then I left the cubes for on top. So I'll just see what's inside here. And I know I definitely have a lot of catching up to do on YouTube. I think I mentioned this before, but we're homeschooling this year. So, I've homeschooled before, but never while trying to run a business. So it's been kind of tough keeping up with this. I mean, I still make the soap and everything, and I've done videos for some of them, but it's difficult to do one for everything. Sometimes I make the soap, while the kids are doing their lessons, just to get a batch done. But I don't always have time to record them, or have time to sit and edit and upload and all of that. So Brandon's off today, so this was a good day to try to get some stuff done. Been curing for almost 24 hours, but it's still a little bit sticky. So the whole thing is scented with the same fragrance. I added goat's milk to the base since I knew that was already going to turn brown. The top may turn to a cream color. I'm not sure how much darker than this is going to get. I did add titanium dioxide. Okay, so that's sort of a preview of what's inside. To me, these are still a little bit too sticky to handle, so I'm going to let them sit for another couple of hours, and I'll be right back to cut them up. Okay, so the bars are firm enough to cut now, well, mostly firm enough. So here's what they look like on top, and let's see what's inside. I'm going to cut them laid on the side just to make sure that none of what's on top is dragged down into the bars. embeds inside. Just move your stomach. Thank you. And that's the top. I still dragged off some of the embeds. At least I didn't drag them down. I'm happy. It took, I don't know, maybe 3 days to make. Adding in the batches that went wrong, and then the night that I let the melt and pour embed set up, and I'm glad I was doing it this way. I think I could have made the base a little bit darker since this is like a dark chocolate scent. It's dark chocolate and mint. And it smells quite strong. I don't think it's overwhelming, not in my opinion, but it is pretty strong. And I actually, let me show you these, I actually made some bubble bars to go along with these. They were scented and candy cane, which is funny because the candy cane apparently has more vanilla content in it than the fragrance I used to make the soap. So it turned, these were white and like pink, well, white and red. It was a little more pink than red, but still close enough. And overnight, they just turned brown. I'm so upset about that. They smell so good. They're very, very strong. I did it that way on purpose so that, you know, once they were broken up and put into the bath water, you would still have a nice scent for each bath, because you should get at least 4 baths out of each one of these, and I want to make sure that each bath was, you know, was strong. Not strong, but, you know, well scented. So I scent the main bar strong, but once it's broken up and crumbled, I don't know if anyone has ever used mint, peppermint, and vanilla before on your skin, but it smells so good. It's not overly minty or anything like that. I'm trying to think, the closest thing I can think to compare it to is this cocoa butter lotion I used to use. I think the company was Palmer's, I think. Their cocoa butter lotion, to me, kind of had like this sweet mint candy cane-ish type scent to it. And it really reminds me of that. I love it. So that's what I was going for with the bubble bar, but I think I'm still going to sell them, just at like half the price I normally would sell them, because they still smell good. They still, everything's so fine. It's just the fragrance oil turned the color, and I would hate to waste all of that. So I'll put them out there for anyone that wants them, but just at like half the cost, so that it's not completely wasted. When you top these soaps, it really does make a mess. Alright, and it's the last of them. I also mixed these when I added the shavings. I've never done this before. Added shavings or these type of embeds to soap before. So I made sure that the soap was at a nice thick trace before adding them, just to make sure they would stay suspended. And since I use a lot of olive oil, it usually takes a while when I'm soaping at a warm temperature, which I did for these. It takes a while for it to reach trace, much less a super thick trace. But it worked out. I just kept stirring it and then letting it sit for a while, and then I'll go back and stir it again, hand stirring, until it thickened up enough for it. So these are these. And I really like this fragrance. It's got me like so pumped up. I think I'm going to do like make real peppermint bark this year for Christmas for my family. So I'll let you guys know how that turned out, but I think it's going to be good. So alright, that's it for me for now. Take care everybody. Bye bye.